Hi, Shelly. All right, we're going to explore your request now. You have an interest in exploring your healing ability and entering into an experience as a shaman or priestess, and you have a real love for the dark, even the dark aspects of the spirit realm, and helping them to feel loved and helping them to feel happiness within themselves, which is totally incredible. Not a lot of people can say that, so that's really special. I'm just going to relax, and you're wanting to get some more feedback or more insight in your healing gifts, how you can develop those more, just more information from spirit about this. So I'm just going to relax and we'll see what comes, okay? So, this is so, I'm going into a circular space, but it's not a perfect circle. It's got some, it's almost, you could describe it as you cut a tree down and the trunk of the tree kind of has this sort of jagged edging around it, right? So the shape of it has a jagged edging, kind of like a tree trunk would. But it's just sort of gray on the jaggedy side, and then it goes inward and it gets black, and it goes even deeper inward. It's an illusionary perception of what is a flat space, but it actually has depth to it. It even is sort of like a cone, because if I go closer to it, I could, there's a way that my hand could even continue to go through the center of it, and there's like a, I don't know, it's like a cone or something, but it's so black, pitch black, you can't see any shadow. You couldn't perceive that it wasn't flat, but it actually has dimension. Okay, so we are looking at the image changing. We're in one version of the image, it's actually like a birthday party hat, and we're just putting it on. In another version of the image, we are trying to touch it and actually feel what this is like. It's like a pond. It's kind of gives off the flair of it being a liquid body that you could touch and it would create a rippling effect. But do you ever get to touch it? Does it ever actually happen? You are trying to touch it with your finger, but the hand continues to go inward because it's actually an illusion. It actually has depth to it. It's not like water body where you touch it, it doesn't, your finger just doesn't keep going downward actually. It creates rings. They were wanting me to indicate the cone is at the top of the head. So when we put the cone on the head, it goes around the head, and then above the head there is a beacon of light up here. So there's the cone energy, and then there's a beacon of light up here above the head. So it's like a cone on top of your head with a beacon of light on top of it. It's a really weird perception because it's really strange to experience putting a black party hat on, and that there's wisdom in the darkness of this party hat, and that beyond it is pure light, illumination, and an extraordinary gift of perception. This is worth celebrating. This is totally worth celebrating, is what they're saying. And to perceive that as always worth celebrating. Not to perceive it as dark as evil, but to perceive it as a gift of shadow. They're saying it again. To perceive darkness as a gift of shadow. And not even to perceive it as, to perceive black, so to speak, as a beautiful color, but they are emphasizing darkness, though, as a sort of a lurking, murky place, but actually a place of extraordinary illumination and light. It's a total gift. What happens at the birthday party? You are given gifts. What happens when we celebrate this exploration? You are given gifts. That's what they're saying. They're saying the more that you explore this, you will be given gifts. And this light that sits at the top of your party hat grows brighter. Your wisdom will become extremely profound. In fact, you are going to raise your vibration extraordinarily. And wisdom and comprehension, because you're choosing to do the one thing that is sort of opposing what we believe in as truth. Give me a minute here. Okay. My voice and mouth need to be speaking together. All right, let's start where we were here. Okay. It's 100% positive. Everything that they have to share is very, very positive and really welcoming and really beautiful on a really high vibrational scale. Like all the angels in heaven with their trumpets out, blasting and celebrating your name for this choice. It's extraordinary. Extraordinary. People don't just choose that every day. Only really extraordinary people choose that. Extraordinary souls choose that. That's what they say. Extraordinary souls choose that. So there is a pause as we're exploring, the celebration, but also exploring this mirror of darkness and then choosing to try to touch the mirror and see what is within it. But you never see your reflection upon the mirror. All you see is shadow. So, we are at the edge. I mean, the scene is becoming dark all around. It's becoming a Halloween type of scene. There's a cold, sort of eerie, creepy wind blowing. And then before us is this mirror. They're asking you, what would you do in this case? What would you do if you found yourself in a very creepy feeling, extraordinary, Halloween, scary, you're in the horror movie type of experience? Now, what would you do? They're asking you that question. They say you shine your light. You actually just create light in the space. And now your light becomes the energy of balance that helps creepy Halloween say, oh, it feels warm and it feels like Valentine's Day. Oh, okay, I guess it's Valentine's Day. The creepy tries to be lurky and scary, but really underneath it all, it just wants a hug. So you choose to see the scene as actually just wanting a hug. That this is part of the discussion. You're still sort of standing in this sort of Halloween. The trees are bare and there's a wind and then old sort of leaves blowing a little bit here and there. It's sort of creepy woods. And then still there's this dark mirror. They're asking you to choose. Do you choose to continue to stand out here and look around, or do you choose to enter and find what you are looking for? There's just a pause. There is an inspiration. There's a super loving energy. It sort of sounds like a really sweet, adorable giggling sound. It's totally warm and it's coming from inside of the dark pool or pond, and it's creating a mouthpiece. So it's like a what is that thing? You know the thing I'm talking about. You speak into it and it projects your voice. And so she's on the other side and she's speaking into it, projecting her voice towards you on the other side. And the whole thing is lighting up with really beautiful light. She's like, you're never going on this journey alone. Don't be silly. That would just be ridiculous. We're always here with you. We're always here helping you, loving you, and welcoming you to explore these things. And guess what? It's just another illusionary trick trying to make you feel creeped out. You're totally loved and hugged. We love you so much. You never separate from love on this journey, ever. What it does is influences you to love that much harder. And it helps you to see the true value of love over anything else. And it inspires the gift of transforming things through the energy of love. And you are guided this whole time. You are guided. And you're never alone. And to know that in times when you are tested and you feel alone, it is only part of the test. It is only part of the experience of exploring separation and choosing to trust your heart that you are never separated and you are never disconnected from love. And that is your totality. You're always connected with love. She welcomes you into this doorway of love. She emphasizes this is a doorway of love. She shows me the difference between a human mind and its choice of being perceptive choices. A human mind that chooses to get scared, because it's dark and there's the eerie breeze and the creepy trees and this and that, and it's because it's a shadowy thing. But that's just the human perception. This infinite soul has no fear of anything at all. It's just a joke to the infinite soul, which doesn't have to go anywhere in order to travel the infinite universe and know everything about anything there is to know about. It's an infinite soul. It already is in oneness with everything infinite. It knows everything. Only the humanness feels this big, and the infiniteness is connected to everything, which you are infinite. And you are totally connected with love. How are you going to bridge between the human experience and then stepping into who and what you are meant to be in this lifetime? How are you going to bridge between the human doorway and now move beyond it and step into the gifts that you have to share? That's what she's asking. Do you know how to start? Do you know where to go with this? She's really indicating that you do. There's a silly kind of scene. I'm looking at a reindeer sitting upright like a person, and it has a big red nose and then jolly antlers just like Rudolph. And it's kind of cartoon looking. It's sitting on kind of a throne chair, but there's a bigger chair next to it. It's like where Santa Claus would live, or would sit, I mean. It just feels that way. But nobody goes and takes the chair. Nobody goes and sits down in it. We're starting to wonder where Santa Claus is. Because it really feels like Santa Claus, that's Santa Claus's chair. Rudolph is here, where's Santa? We're waiting. Even, where are you? Looking at the time even. There's some energy work going on here associated with this scene. On the other side of it, it's almost like it was made out of paper and easy to rip. There is something much darker on the other side of this. This is really, really hardcore. It's got like black sand blowing everywhere at 90 miles an hour. I mean, it's a totally dark scene. Trees are dead but still alive. Everything is in darkness. Everything's black. We're wondering what visitors are here. Oh, we are called to go to this space. Therefore, where you are called to go, then you go there. You are called to go there for a reason. You are called to go there not only for the reason of healing, because you are called to heal, you are also called because you are ready to do this healing work, that you are also called because you are developing your ability to do this healing work. Each time you do healing work, you develop a new skill or expand the skills you've already developed. You are always ready. No matter what you get called to do, you are always ready. And part of it is going to teach you a great deal about yourself. A great deal about the spirit realm and human realm. You're at the borderline between moving into this dark world or staying here there's a line drawn in the sand. But there's no fear at all. I mean, you actually feel quite joyful and almost like you recognize your friends, that you really long to see certain souls that had gotten like vacuumed into an experience that transformed them, and you really long to see them and help them to find the light again, is really what you are longing to do. That's why you feel so intense and emotional about this, because you have family members, spiritual family members, that are sort of part of their reflections became sort of transformed into a darker reflection. And you're wanting to help those soul fragments and soul pieces and soul reflections return into the light and become transformed, so the souls can feel more complete or more whole. Like, it's a crazy world. It's a really crazy spiritual world. You really do. You have a lot of gusto, momentum, and you are ready to step foot into that other space. And you feel quite a lot of love within your heart, and so much love that you could instantly purify all of the dust in this air. And you would actually know exactly where to go and exactly what to do in order to find the hidden soul fragment pieces. To find what you are looking for, really specifically like soul fragment pieces that are trapped in a state of self torment kind of thing. It's crazy because we ask ourselves, so is there really a hell? There's only the personal hell we create for ourselves when we feel guilty about something, when we feel we are not good enough, when we feel on an extreme level of hatred. We actually create a little pocket for our soul to experience self torment because of these emotions. And soul fragments, we can, we meet our soulmate and then a soulmate dies and we cannot move on from that. We feel a part of ourselves has died. That happens. And so literally, if you feel a part of yourself has died, your soul is fragmented off. And now how do you get that part of your soul fragment back? You either heal yourself and realize that, people move on, life happens and it is a gift and a blessing, or you stay in a state of grief for the rest of your life and you enter into lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes still exploring that burden. And so as a shaman and a priestess, you have the ability to go retrieve those soul fragment pieces and help people find themselves again and find themselves energetically balanced and healed and feeling freedom, energetic freedom in ways that they didn't even know that they needed. But we're not talking just about that. We're talking really, really dark spaces. Really dark spaces that may be very deranged. Very deranged with sexual freaky stuff going on, deranged with all kinds of weird things. But the thing is, you really are ready for this thing. You really are ready for this thing. There's no intimidating you. We have to they really wanted to encourage you to see your connection with love, and that when you go and do this work, you're always guided with love and light, and it's all around you. And you can't fail this thing. And so, but you have the skills and know-how, a spiritual knack or ability to go into really deep, dark spaces and then actually find your soulmates or soul friends that are trapped in these these dark spaces. How do they get there? Incarnation experiences that are really traumatizing is how soul fragments happen and stuff like that. And so you're able to actually heal quite effectively. And that is what you needed to know. That's what they said. So that's pretty cool. That is way cool. That is not something that I come across every day. Not even that's pretty unique. That's really awesome that you're wanting to join the team of very special souls that can go into dark spaces and retrieve soul fragments and heal sort of demonic reflections and transform them in the light, because you definitely have the ability and the know-how. Spirit is making that very clear. So that's what they have to say. I'm just disconnecting here from your spiritual atmosphere. That was a pretty neat experience. All right. Thank you so much for exploring this work with me. It was a lot of fun. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in psychic wisdom or spiritual healing, definitely visit me at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching and thank you for supporting my channel.